Hello, super quick intro. Today I'm going to be showing you how you can solve the Hanayama Trinity puzzle. Now before we get into it, just bear in mind that the Trinity puzzle is a very hard puzzle to solve. I've spent the last week trying to master each and every move that we're about to go through, and it still manages to do things that confuse me. So if you do find that you get stuck in certain positions or you can't manage to follow one of the moves, just be patient, just keep trying, keep tweaking, and you will eventually solve the Trinity puzzle. Okay, so here is the Trinity puzzle. Now before we get into it, we need to just orientate ourselves with which piece is where. Now each piece is labelled, you'll probably notice that. So we've got the Trinity piece in the top left, we've got the blank piece in the top right, and we've got the piece labelled Hanayama hanging down at the bottom. The first move we're going to do is the Trinity piece on the left is going to go through the middle of the blank piece on the right. Now for this, sometimes this happens very smoothly, sometimes it gets stuck. What I've found is if you move the Hanayama piece over to this side, it makes it a little bit easier to pass that Trinity piece through the blank piece and into this position here. Next, what we're going to do is we're going to do the same thing with the blank piece now going through the middle of the Trinity piece, but we just stop halfway. And this one's fairly simple to do. You might have to do a little bit of moving of the Hanayama piece to get this through, but it's not as difficult to get to this position here, which is where we want to be now. Once we've got each piece sort of lined up vertically, we're then going to lift the Hanayama piece from these two gaps in here up to these two gaps here and out to the side. Now for this, again, it can be quite tricky, so what we're going to do is we're going to lift it sort of into this position here, and then if we bring the blank piece back through the Trinity piece slightly, that then allows us to slide us up into this position here, and then doing two moves at the same time, we can push the Trinity piece back into sort of halfway through the the blank piece halfway through the Trinity piece, and then we can lift that blank piece out into this position here. What we do next is we pass that blank piece through the middle of the Hanayama piece here. And it's all getting a little bit messy from this angle. However, if we look from a bird's eye view, we'll see that these two pieces fit together almost perfectly. And the first time I did this one, this move required a little bit of force, but it doesn't require an amazing amount of force. Don't go breaking your Trinity puzzle, but it does require a little bit of just a slip over the edge there. And what we end up with is this sort of chain position here. And from here it becomes very simple. All we need to do is align the sort of the two edges of every piece, or the gaps on each piece. And from there we can just simply separate each piece. And that is how we disassemble the Trinity puzzle. And to reassemble the Trinity puzzle, this first few steps of orientation and connecting them the right way around is very important. So make sure you get this bit right, otherwise you will not be able to get it back to its full or to its original position. So what we're going to do first is we're going to take the Trinity puzzle in our left hand, we're going to take the Hanayama piece in our right hand, and we want it so that we can see both labels. So it says Trinity here, it says Hanayama here. What we're going to do is we're going to keep it so that we can still see the Trinity puzzle, but we're going to turn the Hanayama one towards us, or the Hanayama word towards us. We're then going to connect them, and we're then going to sort of feed the Hanayama piece through. And so we've got this sort of chain position here. Now in this position we should still be able to see the Trinity word, but we shouldn't be able to see the Hanayama because it's underneath here. We're then just going to let the Trinity puzzle hang out there while we connect the second piece and the third piece. So we take the blank piece. Now because there's no label on the blank piece, we need to differentiate it slightly differently, and we're going to do it with the size of the head. So you'll see that this head on the right hand side is slightly wider than this one on the left. Now what we're going to do is we're going to have the slightly shorter or smaller head down, and then we want the actual heads to be sort of facing up. So we're connecting in this position here. Then we can bring that small head through that gap into this position. we're going to turn it down and then bring it all the way through into this position here. So here we've got sort of like a staggered, almost half an S shape. And what we can do from here is now reconnect all three pieces. So at the minute it's sort of like a chain. And what we need to do is turn this piece over the top here. And then we can realign those two pieces. And again, with a slight bit of force, we're just going to press those two together. And we end up here. Next, the blank piece is going to go through the Hanayama piece into this position. They're going to swap places. And once that's gone through, our next aim is to then sort of get that vertical alignment of all three pieces. So the blank piece is going to come down to its vertical position here. And then again, just bringing that head out slightly allows us to pass the Hanayama piece down into this position here. And we end up with all three pieces in that vertical alignment again. Now what we need to do is bring the blank piece back through the Trinity piece into this position. That's a fairly straightforward move to do. And the final move is getting this Trinity piece back through the blank piece. And again, because it can get a little bit trickier, a little bit stuck sometimes, I found it easy if you lift the Hanayama piece into this position here. It makes it a little bit easier to pass the Trinity piece through the blank piece. And once you've got it back into this position, you have fully reassembled your Trinity puzzle. So there we go, that is how you disassemble and then reassemble the Trinity puzzle. Hopefully that has helped you in some way, shape or form. If you are still having trouble with a few moves, then please comment below. I will help you as much as I possibly can. And if you want to see me solve some more Hanayama puzzles, either for the first time or the step-by-step solutions for each and every one of them, then you can click my face right here to subscribe, and I will see you next time. Peace!